Great. Thank you. Hi. Yes. Hi. I see you, John. Hi. Yes. Hello. Hello, Sundar from India. Yes. Hello. I see people coming in from Europe. I see people coming in from New York. Great. Hello, everyone from California. Hi. Thank you. You can hear me loud and clear. Okay, great. Let's get started. We've got people on the US and internationally on this webinar. That's what's exciting about doing this is you get to reach out to people all over the world. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, I always say, put down if try not to do anything else while you're watching this webinar, being on Instagram or being on Facebook or everything. Put your phone aside for a moment if you're doing that. And then, have a pen and paper in case you want to jot down some notes. Maybe you'll have some questions. They'll probably get answered during the presentation, but just have that. And then, I always like to say, keep an open mind, just keep an open mind. See it fresh, see this fresh. Okay, so here we go. My name is Galen George. I am hosting this webinar. I love to. It's an honor to do this. My background, just a little bit about myself. My background is in the entertainment industry. Worked in the entertainment industry for most of my life with people you'll know the names of, Will Smith, Keanu Reeves, Francis Ford Coppola. Worked recently with Academy Award winner Viola Davis. That was great. So that's my background in the entertainment industry. I've also done some real estate investment. I've owned a few restaurants, so I have that entrepreneurial side of myself also. So that's just a little bit about me. So let's get started. Happy day, everybody. Here we go. So like I said, keep an open mind. Here we go. So I like to, the way I like to start this is, take a look at today's facts of where we are, and this is not to bring anybody down or to depress anybody, but, it's good to take a look at where we are so then we know where we can go, right? So, most people we know are living paycheck to paycheck, caught up in the rat race, not enough time with loved ones, working longer hours than ever. I mean, we know retail business is hurting. People are stressed out. There's increasing debts and mortgages. I was talking to a friend of mine. She's 65. She says, I thought I was going to be able to retire, Galen, and travel. But no, she says she just has to keep working. Her name is Rosa. She told me that. And I said, I hear you. And so it's like people are working that one day never comes, pretty much you're just working hard to make your boss rich. I mean, people are completely stressed out. I heard the number one, I spoke to a very successful person that travels the world. He was saying the number one issue people say on the planet is they don't have enough time. 96% of people are lying awake at night are worrying about their health and finances. I mean, and we know that insomnia and not being able to sleep is an issue in the US and around the world. I mean, it's major. I love this Time Magazine. If you're on this webinar from outside of the US and, an international person on this, Time Magazine is one of the most reputable magazines in the United States. And this cover image I just thought was so powerful because this woman has a master's degree. That's higher education in the United States. Okay. 16 years experience, works 2 extra jobs. She has to donate blood on the side to pay her bills. She's a teacher in America with a higher education. So that's just showing you some of the stats of, where people are. I mean, in the US, a lot of you on this webinar know this, that 40% of all workers have become part-time. That means that you don't get the benefits of being a full-time employee. You don't get the medical perks. You miss out on a lot. And so this is what a lot of people are dealing with. And there's that so many people are in credit card debt, in debt, because of having to finance their health issues, pay for their health bills on credit cards, and however they have to do it, borrowing because of lack of good medical care. So medical insurance, so this slide I thought was quite powerful. Take a look at this. Out of 100 people who start working at the age of 25 by the age of 65, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the US Census Bureau. Okay, now 63%, you see that there, are dependent on Social Security, friends, relatives, or charity. And if you're outside of the U.S., Social Security is the U.S. Outside of the U.S., then it's some kind of government program, possibly. Now, if you look at that 63%, ladies and gentlemen, that means that's most of the people you and I know. They say, I heard a statistic recently that 96% of people in their lifetime do not reach the financial goals that they had dreamed of. 96% of people. So most people will not reach the financial goals they dream of. So these are just facts, ladies and gentlemen, not to bring anybody down, like I said, but let's look at where we are so then we know where we can go. Okay, so 63% of people, that's most of the people we know. And I actually heard these statistics are actually a little bit higher. So what I like to do is I like to it's all about mindset, what I've learned. In terms of people that are creating success and have created massive success in life, or have created success and then have it fall apart, and then created success and be able to maintain it, because that's a whole nother mindset. Creating success, but then also being able to maintain success. So it's all about mindset. Robert Kiyosaki, if you haven't heard of him, he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you're an entrepreneur, you know the name. If not, it's all about mindset. And he taught, here, let me show a video with Robert Kiyosaki because he breaks it down far better than I could. Take a look at this.
Do you ever feel like you're backpedaling even though you're following the rules? You work long hours, tolerate your boss, you get an annual raise, and you try to save money and budget wherever you can.
Clearly, you're working the known system for financial success, but something is very wrong.
The rules are not working. The system is broken down.
You're barely making ends meet, let alone getting ahead.
And retirement? Forget it. You're living day by day. You want to build financial security and wealth, but it's just not happening.
So where exactly has playing by the rules gotten you?
If you can change your outlook, change some of your values, and change your rules, you'll find there's a whole other set of rules out there that are more conducive for people who want to be rich.
Financial expert, educator, successful investor, and best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki is about to give you the information you need to implement a realistic, achievable plan of building and growing wealth.
Kiyosaki is the New York Times best-selling author of, among other books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
To date, the series has sold 20 million plus copies worldwide. Today, Kiyosaki shares his revolutionary wisdom with you, just as his rich dad shared it with him.
It's information that can take you from working for money to your money working for you.
Information that can set you free.
The story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is really a story of two different fathers with two different sets of values and completely different sets of advice. So I don't mean to insult anybody or, to damage your values, but really that was the difference. For example, my poor dad always said, go to school, get good grades, get a high-paying job, work hard, live below your means, save money, get out of debt, have a good retirement plan. And that was my poor dad's values. My rich dad said, you probably won't get rich doing that way because very few people get rich following that plan.
But you thought saving money made you money.
If you take a look at this 40-year run on the dollar is designed economically to lose money every single year. So why would you save something that loses money every year? And what this means for somebody on retirement plans is that after you retire, the value of your dollar goes down and your cost of living keeps going up. To my rich dad, that was bad advice and made no sense. Again, it was different values.
This goes against everything you've heard.
A very important diagram my rich dad showed me when I was a little boy was a diagram known as a cash flow quadrant. And the quadrant is made up of the 4 different people who make up the world of business. So my rich dad said, in the world of business, there's E's, and E's stand for employees. An employee, he says, you can always tell who they are by their core values. And what the employee, whether the president or the janitor of the company, will always say the same words. The words are, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with benefits. That's what makes them an employee, because their core values are security. The other one of the 4 is the S, or the small business owner or the self-employed. And again, their core values will cause them to use the same words, which are, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. S means they're also solo. They're generally one-person act, or they operate by themselves. On the right side of the quadrant are the B's. And what Rich Dad said the B stood for was big business, or like Bill Gates. Forbes defines big business as 500 employees or more. And their words are different. They say, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help run my business. So they're unlike the S. They don't want to run the company by themselves. They want smart people to run their companies for them. And then the 4th of the quadrant is the I, and I stands for investor. These are people who have money work hard for them. These people are people that people work hard for them. And these are the people that work hard for the rich here. So early on in my life, it was my poor dad who always said to me, you know, Robert, go to school and so get a high-paying job. And so my poor dad's core value was to be an employee. He wanted job security, promotions, a steady paycheck, and all this. And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, you know, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was the difference in values. So my rich dad suggested I learn how to be a business owner and learn how to be an investor. And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom. They don't want to have to work at a job anymore. They don't want to have to work.
I love how Robert Kiyosaki breaks this down in the 4 quadrants. He really makes it clear for everyone. If you haven't seen that, or if you have, it's always great to review it. This video goes on. He continues to talk and just explain more information. This video is on YouTube, Robert Kiyosaki, The Perfect Business. He goes on to talk about what type of business he recommends. You know, I like how he breaks this down in terms of mindset, employees, and self-employed. I mean, self-employed, even the small business, you know, I heard a statistic recently that most small business people and having their own small businesses, these startups are averaging about $25,000 a year. And that's according to Forbes magazine. So it's really that it's about a mindset, you know, and, you know, he goes on to talk about what type of business he recommends for starting out with a low startup. And he talks about direct sales. This industry is in a boom. Harvard Business School is recommending it now. It's huge, and that's why he goes on in this video to talk about that he recommends if you're starting a business to start with direct sales. You know, because it all comes down to mindset and dreams. You know, and you got to determine within yourself that you will live your dreams. You know, I always tell people don't be casual about them, because if you're casual about your dreams, you'll end up a casualty. That's Les Brown that says that. He always makes such a good point. You know, because it really comes down to, truthfully, if you don't build your own dream, then someone will hire you to build theirs. And that's just a fact, you know. So I always tell people, I like to talk to people about imagine, you know. Imagine, what if you had more money in your life? What if you had more time? What if you had more freedom? What if you could come and go when you want, how you want, where you want? What kind of lifestyle would you be living? I mean, even if you had just like an extra $500 to $3,000 a week in your life, what would your life be like? You know, what if you could drive the car you want? You could fly here, go there when you want, live the lifestyle you want, live to your fullest potential, have good health. You know, what if you could fire your boss and retire early? What would it really be like? You know, what would you be doing? Who would you be spending time with? Really imagine it. How would you feel? You know, what kind of car would you drive? What would you be doing? Would you have projects you'd invest in? Would you have family? You know, what would you do if you had that kind of freedom? You know, if you could live the life the way you want, what would it really be like? Your dream life, you know, because people are doing it every day. People are doing it. So what about you? Why not you? You know, doesn't everybody want to be financially free, whatever financial freedom to one person is $3,000 a week. Financial freedom to another person is $1 million a year, you know, but wouldn't you like to have more finances in your life? Wouldn't you like to be able to have the freedom to come and go where you want? You know, wouldn't you like to have that kind of lifestyle? Well, what's happening right now, there's a global convergence happening because of technology, because everybody's got a smartphone in their hand. We have all these social media online platforms, Facebook and LinkedIn and Shaper and Twitter and Alignable and Instagram. There's a globalization happening. It's a brand new economy, they're calling it. It's a new paradigm. And what I'm saying here is what a lot of people are saying, catch the trend. There's There's a proven system that we've set up here that I'm going to start talking about because of the cutting edge technology. So what you want to do is leverage the global economy and create flexibility and time freedom and join the global community with what's happening. One of my mentors, Kim Wee, a multimillionaire, very, very powerful businesswoman, but just a sweetheart. She and her team who has created let me show you this link where they break down what's going on in terms of statistics online. And here, take a look at this. They do it far better than I did. Take a look at what they've created. Take a look at this. I love this video. I love how I love this. One of the reasons I love this is I see so many people in here that I know, some of my mentors, and have created such success and travel the world. But you see the power of the internet and what's happening in terms of online and the boom that's happening. I love that video because there's a huge global trend happening in this industry right now. At the bottom of this slide, it says globally the number is over 254 billion. It's actually over 200 billion. This slide's a little bit old. There's more growth in this industry in the next 10 years than in the last 50. And it's primarily, they're saying, because it's a new paradigm. There's a global convergence happening because of technology. People like Sir Richard Branson here, who owned Virgin Atlantic Airlines. He's a billionaire, not a multimillionaire, ladies and gentlemen, a billionaire, owns his own island. I love him. I love his style. his lifestyle. He's a thorough, complete believer in the network marketing industry. Has had his own companies in the network marketing industry. He highly recommends it. Here's Les Brown. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the most well-known motivational speakers in the world. He's a multimillionaire. He's got his start in this industry, and he knows this. You know, the network marketing industry has produced more millionaires than any other industry in the history of the world. Here's Warren Buffett. If you don't know who he is, Warren Buffett, they call him the wisest investor on the planet. He is a billionaire, and he says it's one of the best investments he's ever made. See, these are billionaire, multimillionaire people because they know what's happening and they like to make money. And so they're going to invest and be parts of industries that are making money. This is the third fastest growing industry on the planet right now, ladies and gentlemen. Warren Buffett here owns, I think it's 6 network marketing companies because there's a boom happening because of technology. A lot of people don't even know this, that 82% of women in the U.S. who make $100,000 a year or more do it in this industry, direct sales. So it's a phenomenal industry. It's a phenomenal time. It's a brand new paradigm, what's happening. That one slide there, it said more people, like I said, more people are expected to get in this industry in the next 10 years because there's a huge boom happening because people are wanting something different for their lives, right? Wouldn't you like to have more money, right? I mean, wouldn't you like to have more time freedom? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like to have more time, freedom, and money? And so this is the reason we're here. So we chose a platform, and the platform we chose is Jeunesse. Headquartered here in the U.S. in Orlando, Florida, actually. This company was started September 9th, 2009 at 9 p.m. And why the number 9? Because in Chinese numerology, the number 9 is for longevity. This is what we call a legacy company. Very successful people in this industry have come over here because this is a legacy company doing very, very well. It hit $1 billion in 6 years. We just hit our 9-year anniversary. This is the fastest company in this industry ever to hit $1 billion. When you look at the giants in this industry, Amway and them, they did it, but you see how long it took them to get to $1 billion. Conventional companies that get to $1 billion are Apple and Facebook. So Jeunesse Global, if you haven't heard of it yet, it will be a household name, debt-free, winning all kinds of awards. Wendy Lewis, the CEO, continues to win Female Entrepreneur of the Year. I like the Ethos Award down there for ethics and integrity because that's just really important to me, ethics and integrity. And then, oh gosh, this slide I have to keep changing out because it's at 323. I'll have to look now. The number may be more in terms of awards. American Business Awards are awarded for conventional companies and companies in our industry. So the company just continues to it's causing quite a storm in this industry. There's all kind of articles written about it because it's doing so well and creating so many successful people. This platform is in 147 countries. So any of these countries that we're in, you can have your business, your e-commerce online business go out into all of these countries. And it can 140 plus, it continues to expand. So, and it's an e-commerce model. There's offices all over. So the formulas are drop shipped worldwide. You don't have to do any of that. The accounting, all of that is handled by the company. And these are the CEOs, Wendy and Randy. Wendy is such a great story. They were both retired. They've retired twice as multimillionaires. They did not have to come back in, but they felt like when you hear them talk about it, they wanted to do something to help people. How could they help more? You know, Wendy there, she was a mathematician, started out as a teacher and a mathematician. She's built in this industry from the ground up, so she knows what it's like. All she tries to do whenever you talk about is hear her talk is how can she make it easier and more simple for people to create success. Randy Ray there, sweetheart, real businessman. When you hear his story, he grew up in such poverty in the U.S. that he and his brothers and sisters, they would dig through garbage to find food. And when they couldn't find food, they would take dirt and water and mix it together and make mud pies and eat mud pies. It gives me goosebumps when I talk about it because when you hear him tell his story, that's what they would eat, mud pies. He grew up in such poverty. His parents were sharecroppers. But you know what the thing is? He made a goal in his late 20s that he would be a millionaire, and he was. If you hear his whole story of how he got there, it's pretty phenomenal. But what he did is he helped design the launch codes for NASA, the space stations. So these are very, very, very brilliant people, multimillionaires. But he always says when he's on stage, I've seen him, he says, it's all about love. It's all about love. And, I said, when do you hear a CEO of $1 billion corporation talking about love? But they're always talking about love and how can they help people? How can they help people create a better life? So the reason the company is doing so well is because we're participating in a billion-dollar industry. Now, this is the youth enhancement system. Now, when you see this, you might think, oh, this is about selling. Okay, this is not about selling products. It's not about selling. Okay, so just, if you're thinking that, just hold on. That's all it's about. Okay, so this is the youth enhancement system. There's a couple formulas that were just added that are not on here. I like it because they're very selective about what they add to it. Phenomenal. Each of these categories is $1 billion, billion-dollar categories, and it's partially because we're doing so well because of the medical advisory board. Dr. Nathan Newman there, his office in Beverly Hills. You may have seen him on TV. He's always on Inside Edition, Entertainment Tonight. Dr. Vincent Giampapa, nominated for 2 Nobel Prizes in medicine. William Amsalog, great. He has a background in Chinese medicine. Dr. Donna Antar, working with blood sugar stabilization, hormone balance, phenomenal. Her work in creating the system. And I've been around regenerative nutraceutical systems my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very cutting edge in terms of what's happening on the planet. So let me I want to show you you may have seen this. It's gone viral. Take a look at this formula take a look at this formula.
What you want to do is twist off the top. You want to squirt out a very small amount. Flip the lid over and reseal it. So you can use this file 2 or 3 more times. Is tap a very, very thin layer. I'm just tapping a very thin layer on her skin, but you want to leave it about 10 or 15% damp on the skin. Do not rub it all the way in because the product works as it's drying, so you want it to allow it to do this.
Okay, I'm going to start a timer. I can't see the...
Now, you haven't seen anything yet.
You can use Instantly Ageless before or after your makeup. First of all, you want to do all your preventative maintenance and all the good stuff first.
Is it working?
How long has it been?
What do you see? What are you thinking?
I love that. Isn't that? It's quite amazing, that formula. I mean, and who do you know that doesn't want to look better, right? Everybody wants to look good, right? Everybody wants to look good and feel good, right? That's why I love that formula. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And take a look at this. This is the flagship product. This is what started the entire movement of Jeunesse Global. This cellular rejuvenation serum developed by Dr. Nathan Newman, I showed you there earlier. It has growth factors. And what that is, it's the chemical language of stem cells. So there's no stem cells in it, but there's the growth factors. What happened is Randy and Wendy flew out to Dr. Nathan Newman to see him because Randy was getting some work on his knee, stem cells injections, using his own stem cells. That's the new cutting edge science on the planet right now instead of surgery. So Dr. Nathan Newman gave him this serum and said, rub this on your knee for the healing. And he and Wendy were like, wow. They noticed his skin change, the wrinkling on his skin diminish. And they asked Dr. Nathan Newman, how many bottles of this do you sell out of your office per month? And Dr. Nathan Newman said, well, I sell about 40. They said, how would you like to sell 40,000? And that's when the partnership, and that's when this entire movement in Jeunesse took off. They did third-party clinical trials. They came back. The results were amazing. They were like waiting. They didn't know. There were no videos. There were no webinars like this. There were no testimonials. And then what they saw, they said, we've got something special here. And then this is Winnie here. There were 5 founding members that met in Los Angeles at Kim Wee. I mentioned at Kim Wee's house. I mentioned her earlier in that video about the online and what's happening online. This is Winnie. She was one of the 5 founding members. They had this serum. She said, well, I'm the oldest person. In her background, she's an engineer. She's an engineer, but she's in this industry because she had years ago wanted to stay home. And she got in this industry, very successful woman in this industry. So she said, I'm going to try the serum on half of my face. So she tried it on half of her face. And in 10 weeks, they noticed a change. She had a friend who was a skincare specialist, and he had a dermatoscope. He said, well, wait a minute, I want to take a picture and see. So they saw on one side the red blood vessels, and then on the other side, they saw baby collagen growing. And I always like to ask the question, well, who grows baby collagen? Babies. So when you hear Winnie tell us, she's a firecracker. She has such a lot of energy. But she says when they saw this serum in 10 weeks, what it did to half of her face, they said, oh my gosh, not only is this going to change people's lives because it helps with eczema and psoriasis and people with severe cystic acne scars and burns. And oh my gosh, it helps with so many things. They said, not only is it going to help a lot of people, but people are going to make a lot of money. And that's what's happened. And that's why this company has gone on to, like I said, $1 billion in 6 years, the fastest company in this industry to ever reach $1 billion. Phenomenal. And that's Dr. Nathan Newman. And there's a whole line, and it's incredible. But I'm just brushing over some of the products, you guys, because I just want you to get an idea of them, but I can't go into every single one of them. So this is Reserve. This is our #1 selling product worldwide. Now you look at this and you see acai and blueberry and grape, and you think, well, I know what those are. But the thing is, when you take those and highly concentrate those superfruits, they are powerful antioxidants. Pomegranate right there it's one of the leading nutraceutical ingredients right now. It's phenomenal. Green tea, is anti-cancer. Aloe vera, I could do an entire webinar on aloe vera, how it cleans the blood and the liver and cleanses the heat in the blood, they say in Chinese medicine, and just flushes your system. And then they added 185 milligrams of resveratrol. If you don't know what resveratrol is, go on YouTube and put in Barbara Walters and resveratrol. They say what it does, and Dr. Sinclair out of Harvard University, it activates a dormant gene in the DNA. We don't make any medical claims. I'm not making any medical claims, but some of the testimonials, they'll touch your heart. What it has helped with people with all kind of cancer and issues and diseases and sicknesses and diabetes. It's low on the glycemic index, doesn't have any added sugar. Children can have it. It's a halal certified, phenomenal product. Anybody that has cardiovascular or heart issues, I always recommend this. I take one of these every day. All of my family members, it really helps people with their health and helping with regeneration and feeling good and wellness and energy. And then the last thing I'll just brush over this, we have the Zen Project 8. This is Mark McDonald. You may have seen him on television. He's the national ambassador of the Diabetes Association. All over the world he travels because of this is ZP8 and resetting the metabolism. Because in the U.S., obesity is predicted by 2020 to be the #1 health concern. I mean, the planet is in a health crisis in terms of cancer and diabetes and arthritis. And I mean, so many Alzheimer's, so many issues. That's why this company's on fire. He travels the world. The Facebook group has thousands of people showing their testimonials of how it transformed their bodies to, if you're losing weight or if you just want tone and fit, but just getting healthy, because so many people are having such a challenging time. Not only is he powerful, but his program, the ZP8 system, and I've walked a lot of people through the 8-week run. He's a sweetheart. I just love him. And so then we have, I like to put this slide up about, just some of the press. I mean, just some of the press we're getting. I just touched on the youth enhancement system. It's much more comprehensive. There's formulas that deal with a lot of different regeneration and with beauty and anti-aging and wellness. And we're getting written up in a lot of magazines because, everybody wants to be healthy, right? Everybody wants to feel good and look good, right? Everybody. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And you want to feel good and you want to look good. And for men and women, and everybody wants to feel and look good, because the way people are doing now, and who doesn't want to have more finances in their body? Wouldn't you like to have more money? Wouldn't you? Because the 40-40-40 plan, the 40-40-40 plan doesn't work. I mean, working 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire on 40% of your income. It just doesn't, it's not making it. It's not, people are struggling too much. So entrepreneurship is something that I've done quite a bit in terms of real estate investment and restaurants I mentioned at the beginning. But I have a mentor. In this industry. It's my first time being mentored by a self-made millionaire. My mentor at 17 was homeless, and by 26 he was a millionaire. And he talks about all it comes down was he had a mentor. He was fortunate enough to meet a mentor in this industry who mentored him to success. He said nobody would have bet on him. Nobody would have bet on him, he said. And entrepreneurship, I love this. This is Warren Buffett, I told you earlier, a billionaire. He says, if you think being an entrepreneur is risky, try working for someone else for 40 years and living off of Social Security or some other government program, or having to live off of charity and friends and family. You think that's tough? I mean, you think being an entrepreneur is tough? Try that. it's amazing how people think, 40 years is a long time to succeed in a business, but think it's all right to stay broke at a job for 40 years. Staying broke means you don't have the freedom. And to me, it means you don't have the freedom to go and do what you want to do. You don't have the freedom to help people that you want to help, family and friends. You can't travel. You can't, buy what you need to buy, and my mentor, my mentor has been, they call him in this industry when companies are failing. They call him in to help the companies succeed. He is a legend in this industry. He knows all the giants in this industry. I am so grateful and fired up to be able to be mentored by someone on this scale. And it has transformed my life. And in this industry, he takes people on a 2 to 4 year plan to create success. Is it take some focus? Yeah. Is he tough? Yeah. Because he wants to create success. He wants people to create success. So we're on a 2 to 4 year plan to create this the success that each of us wants in our lives. I work with people that are from corporate America, executives, Fortune 50 companies, architects, personal trainers, people from construction. I work with engineers, moms, students, all kind of people that do this on a part-time basis. It's like some people think you got to drop everything else. No, you can keep. I have, like I said, in the entertainment industry, I produce television and film, but you can also, I incorporate this in my life because it's enhanced everything in my life. So it's not to add something that brings, more stress. Oh my gosh, it's completely enhanced my life. And I put this slide up here because I know most people don't know this, that that this industry does more than the NFL, the music industry, and the industry and the movie industry. People have no idea about that. This industry is there's a boom happening. It's huge. And a lot of people do it on a part-time basis. And then sometimes people break in and do it full-time, but a lot of people do it on a part-time basis because linear income versus residual income. Linear income, if you don't know what that means, is dollars, hours for dollars. You go to your job, you give your hours, and they pay you some money. You give your hours, they pay you some money. That's linear income. I like residual income. Residual income is you do a job and then you continue to get paid on it. Like I have tons of television and film that I've done. So I have television shows I've done and they air somewhere in the world or on cable, and I continue to get residual. So I have a residual stream of income. So that's what I'm building here. That's why I love this industry, because in this industry, you can build residual streams of income. Because see, in the Jeunesse compensation plan, there are 6 streams of income, not like a job, linear income, where you get paid for your hours. There are 6 streams of income, and it's called the compensation plan. Because, like Robert Kiyosaki, I showed you earlier, he said the richest people in the world look for and build networks. That's what we do here. We build networks. Everyone else looks for jobs. And a job, residual income, what's great about it, you can move anywhere you want. You can do it anywhere you want. Residual income will keep paying you. A job won't. And I love this slide when I saw this. What the word job stands for really stands for just over broke. And that's pretty much true, If you understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. Let me tell you, I love residual income because it's freedom. And if you're thinking now, wait a minute, this is some kind of pyramid. I like to put this slide in here because I say, no, this is not a pyramid. When you talk about pyramid, you mean like a CEO and then the president, like let's say Walmart, you got the CEO and the president and then vice presidents, the board members and the middle management, teams, supervisors, and then the hardworking employees. Or do you mean like that, a CEO like that, like a pyramid? No, the network marketing is regulated by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, a very regulated industry. And me personally, I wouldn't be doing anything illegal like this anyway and doing anything like that. So no, it's not. Like a pyramid, you mean like the government, the president, and then you have the Congress, and then, it goes down to the, all the all the taxpayers like that. So no, it's not a pyramid. So I like to just put that in there. So in case people are thinking that. We work with charities, we partner with Global Village. We've adopted villages in Kenya, in China, in Ecuador. Right now we're in India. And we've adopted villages where we bring in clean water. We build schools. We help people get resources and to lift themselves up to be sustainable. That's one of the key reasons Wendy and Randy and Wendy's son, Scott, came back and started Jeunesse because of Randy's empathy, because of how he grew up as a child. That's one of the primary reasons they started this company. Everywhere that there's an event, like I was in Florida, there was an event, There's events almost every week. Everywhere there's an event, Jeunesse assist the charity where the event is. There was an event we were having. It was to help children with cancer at this organization. We were going to raise, the goal was to raise $30,000 that day. We raised $120,000 because there's so much revenue being generated that they say. Then Kim Wee, I mentioned earlier, she said, when you get money out of the way, all you want to do is serve and help people. So Jeunesse Kids is one of the key components of what we're doing, and Bill Gates here, if you don't know who he is a billionaire, right? He says if he was given a chance to start over again, he would choose network marketing because the investment to get started is so low. There's just barely anything, it's under $1,000, to create time freedom. So, like Sir Richard Branson says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. That's how I was. I watched a presentation just like this, ladies and gentlemen. I watched a presentation just like this. And I was like, I didn't know all the details. I didn't fully understand it, but I said, you know what? Yes. They talked about residual income. Yes. They talked about part-time basis. They talked about me being able to do this business project on a part-time basis, wherever I need to be, wherever I am. I said yes. And I'm learning, and then I started to learn to do it. So, and this always touches my heart, Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Because in this business, you can only have success if you help other people create success. It's a beautiful, beautiful, simple, powerful business model. And I love that. I can only have success if I help others have success. So it's powerful. It is the new paradigm. My mentor, wouldn't you like to be mentored by someone who is successful? Wouldn't you like to be mentored by somebody that's a millionaire? Not that you necessarily want to be a millionaire, but even whatever kind of success you want to create, to be mentored by somebody that knows how to create success. They say if you want to be healthy, study health. If you want to be wealthy, study wealth. So that's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. I am fired up. I'm excited. I'm motivated. I share it with everybody I know because it gives me goosebumps, because what's happening in my life in terms of all the business projects that I'm working on, and because of this platform, my life is completely transforming, and it gives me goosebumps to talk about it. I'm excited. I like to share it because, oh my gosh. And that's why I said, keep an open mind, because it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It is amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I always admire people that have an open mind, that are seekers, seeking something. You have an open mind to take a look at something. So I admire you for just getting on this webinar and taking a look at something, being that open-minded. Very cool, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great, wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you soon, hopefully. Now, if you have any questions, get back to the person who invited you on this webinar. Get back to them and tell them, what you like best about it, what caught your eye. And if you're thinking, well, how do I do this business? How would I do it? If you're saying you want to get started, all you do is just invite people to watch this webinar. All you do is invite people to tune into the webinar, and this webinar does the presentation for you, right? We like my mentor, Angel, like he says, like his mentor said to him, keep it super simple. And that's what we like to do here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everybody. Have a great one. I'm fired up. I'm happy. I'm very excited to share. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody. I'll leave you with a final video.
Even think about not being able to go on these trips because they're life-changing.
Have a dream and have a goal. See yourself as a diamond.
I've been in network marketing 43 years, and I've never, ever seen a company like Jeunesse Global. I've been waiting 43 years for this company. This is it.
This is a global movement.
First, we're a family, and we love all of you. And second, we lead with our heart.
One team, one family, one Jeunesse.
is yours. Everywhere you want to build this business, you can do it.
Jeunesse is as much of a business platform as a life platform.
Success comes when you stop making excuses and you start making changes. Let today be the turning point.